Well, spring is the perfect time to make butter. I have a quart of cream here that I got off of our raw milk. We get our milk from a local dairy, and so I took off the cream and made some yogurt, and now today I'm going to make some butter. I don't have a mixer, so I'm just going to divide this into 2-quart jars and then shake it until it turns into butter. So whenever you make butter in a jar, you want to make sure that you don't fill it too full so that it has room to, I don't know, move around, I guess. And then I also like to make sure that my cream is a little bit warm and it turns into butter faster that way. So it's been about 5 minutes, and you can see how grainy the cream is getting, so you can tell that it's starting to turn to butter. I'm almost done with this one. Let me show you what it looks like. So you can see that it's getting really thick, and at this point you have to be careful to stop shaking the jars once the butter separates from the buttermilk. Otherwise the butter will just start to go back into the buttermilk, and then you'll have a hard time separating it. And now you can see the yellow pieces are butter and the rest is buttermilk. So I'm going to strain this out now. I am going to put this into a bowl so that I can use the buttermilk to bake something else with. So now I'm going to take my butter and put it into my bowl. And then I don't really like to put my hands on the butter too much, so I just put some water in the bowl. So this takes out all of the buttermilk, and then it'll make so that the butter doesn't go bad as quickly. So you can tell that the water isn't getting quite as white. It's a little bit cloudy yet. So this will be the 5th time that I add water. It's a little bit cloudy, but that's good enough for me. I'm going to drain it now. Now I put my bowl on the side a little bit and just continue kneading the butter, and that will help the water to drain down, so that we don't have too much water in our butter. Another thing that helps to draw the water out is adding some salt. I got a little bit more water out, but honestly, we eat this butter so fast that I don't try to get all of it out. I'm going to put it in my bowl here. This is what I ended up with. It's about 1/2 cup. So I'll probably just put this on my table or my counter, and we will eat it with some whole wheat bread that I have made. So now we have a little bit of butter to eat with our homemade bread, as well as a few quarts of homemade yogurt that we get to enjoy as well. This is all of the buttermilk that I have left. I can use this to make biscuits, or I can use it when I make cake or muffins or whatever, and it'll make them really soft and moist. So I'll put this in my fridge until I need to bake something, and then I can use that for my baking. Today's the day. I am preserving all of these eggs. I have 20 dozen here. They are farm fresh. They have not been washed or refrigerated. Most of them are clean. So I'm going to go through and pick out the cleanest ones, and the dirtier ones I'm going to wash and put in my fridge for breakfast. Here is a bucket of eggs that I water glassed last July. After it sits for a while, it gets kind of a hard coating on the top. So you just grab your eggs, and then you want to rinse them off really well before you crack them open, so you don't get any of the pickling lime into your eggs when you're cooking them. I do not dump this down my drain in my kitchen or in my bathroom. I dump it outside in the grass somewhere where I don't care, you know, if the grass dies. So now that I have all these eggs out, I am going to rinse them all and then put them back into the bowl and put them in my fridge. and then I'll use them up sometime within the next few days for our breakfast or for whatever baking that I do. I wouldn't recommend using these for hard-boiled eggs because the shell does not come off. So I just use these for scrambling for breakfast because if you crack them open into a pan, the yolk does not stay intact and it just kind of busts open. Now that my clean eggs are all put in buckets and jars, I'm going to pour the pickling lime over them. I think the ratio is 1 ounce of pickling lime per 1 quart of water. So I need 4 ounces. So now I'm pouring it over the eggs. And then I'll rinse out my jar. So now you can see why I don't like to put too many eggs in, because they're not all submerged. So I'll have to take some of those out and put them in another container. This is going to be our winter supply of eggs. I don't usually buy eggs in the winter because the price of organic or even like free range eggs is just ridiculous. So I like to get my eggs during the summer when I can buy them for $3 a dozen, and then just water glass a whole bunch of them for the whole winter. That way I don't have to spend $7 or $8 on free range or organic eggs at Walmart. And I think even if you buy just the generic Great Value white eggs, it would still be $3.50 or $4 a dozen, and those are just not as good as eggs from a farm that were laid by chickens who were free range. Now that we're done, I am going to store my water glassed eggs on my can shelf. I will put a jar on my pantry shelf so that I can just grab some eggs if I need them. That way I don't have to go into my storage and dig some out. I still have one 2-gallon bucket that I'm going to try to fill with eggs as well and water glass those. And then I think that will be enough for our winter store of eggs. Well, it's a beautiful day to line dry some laundry. I picked up this duvet cover at my Goodwill, local Goodwill today. It was $4.77. I like using thrifted sheets for sewing. I can make test garments with this, and then it doesn't matter if I make a mistake because it was just a piece of cotton that I bought at the Goodwill for less than $5.